Following a massive revelation regarding the Succession War and Prince Wobble not being eligible, the full chapter 412 of Hunter x Hunter has finally been released. At last, we will witness one of the most intense twists and confrontations in the series, as well as Kurapika's next major move and much more.
This is Gloro.
And let's not delay any further. Let's go. The title of our chapter today is Question. The chapter begins at sea, where we see the BlackWhale. According to the text, there are approximately 1.5 months remaining before they reach the new continent. Following that, the scene shifts inside room 1014, depicting the events 5 hours before the issuance of special martial law. Inside the room, the shocked reactions of everyone attending the Nen lesson are shown due to Kurapika's revelation that Prince Wobble is not eligible for the Succession War. Slacker laughs and says, "Ha, I know you're desperate, but that lie is so weak. What was it again?" Based on your explanation, the lower-ranked princes can survive the Succession War as long as they run and avoid the other princes who intend to kill them until the Succession War deadline ends. But Wobble isn't eligible for the Succession War in the first place, and now we're just supposed to disregard that and continue with our Nen lessons? Do you think you can just stand there and lie to us and give us all this information just like that?
To which Kurapika replies, "I haven't told a single lie to you. Of course, the part regarding the limitations of this Succession War is merely my theory, but I firmly believe it. Or are you saying I should wait for more evidence to prove that what I'm saying is true? I'll just give you some time. We will reschedule the class for 10 in the morning. For now, you may return to your rooms and think about the information I've given you."
You may only return if you still wish to continue participating in our Nen lessons. After that, the scene shifts to 48 hours before the declaration of special martial law. So this scene is roughly 1.5 days before Kurapika revealed to the guards and servants that Wobble is ineligible for the Succession War. Here, Bill says he can't believe that Beyond actually planned to sneak his child in as one of the princes of Kakin, based on what Longhi revealed to them. Kurapika then says, "I know it's important for us to find out which of the princes is Beyond's child, but for now, we must prioritize finding out who the target of Beyond's children is." According to Longhi, Beyond's children, including Longhi, have a curse mark placed on the back of their tongues that activates when they die. They don't know who the target of this curse is once it's activated. Therefore, they need to find Beyond's children and the possible target to dispel the curse from Beyond's child that could potentially affect Prince Wobble. While they are talking, Oito approaches Kurapika and says, I truly swear, I have absolutely no relationship with Beyond, and if I need to prove my innocence, Kurapika can use his chain on me." Kurapika replies, "Do not worry, Queen. I do not suspect you, and I also do not see any need to confirm this with you." Kurapika then tells the servant, "Shimano, please, start preparing the food." She replies, "As you wish." But as she is about to leave, she suddenly turns back and tells Kurapika, "How should I say this? My name is actually not Shimano, but Shimanu." Kurapika is puzzled and says, "Huh? That is indeed what I call you, Shimano, right?" Bill says, "I know where this is going." Shimanu then tells Kurapika, "It's new, not no." Kurapika replies, "No? Bill then tells Shimanu that he thinks she probably realizes Kurapika doesn't yet know how to identify the 2 or 3 types of word pronunciation in the Kakin language. Shimanu replies, "You were probably right." Kurapika then tries to force the correct pronunciation of Shimanu's name, saying, "Na, no, no?" Bill explains that the Kakin language has a unique concept regarding name pronunciation, which depends on the gender of the name's owner. Shimano in the Kakin language would identify the owner as male. However, if the pronunciation is Shimanu, it is identified in Kakin that the owner of that name is female. This is because the vowel sound for the letter U is feminine, while O is masculine. Therefore, the pronunciation should be Shimanu, not Shimano, because their servant Shimanu is a woman. But Bill tells Kurapika not to worry about it, because sometimes Kurapika actually pronounces Shimanu's name correctly. Kurapika replies, "Now that you've told me about that, I really can't help but worry." And while Kurapika is speaking, Bill suddenly seems to think of or remember something. Meanwhile, Kurapika apologizes to Shimanu for calling her Shimano instead of Shimanu. Shimanu replies, "It's all right, there's no need to explain or apologize." When Shimanu leaves to prepare the food, Bill tells Kurapika, "Actually, there is one thing that is truly bothering my mind." Bill asks Kurapika to come closer and whispers something to him. This shocks Kurapika, who tells Bill, "That's impossible." Minutes later, they approach Queen Oito and say, "Queen." She asks, "What is it?" Kurapika explains, "Regarding Beyond, you are right. It's better if we clear this issue from our minds, right? And to remove any doubt, may I use my chain on you?" Oito replies, "Yes, no problem." She says it will make her feel much better, so Kurapika should go ahead. Kurapika thanks her and says, "To begin, I will first ask you some less important questions, and you will answer yes or no to these questions. Is that all right with you?" Kurapika then brings out his dowsing chain and points it toward Oito, who answers yes. Kurapika begins his questions saying, "Are you a man?" Oito answers no. "Are you 2 years old?" Oito answers no. "Are you a woman?" To which Oito answers yes. "Are you a mother?" To which Oito answers yes. So far, the dowsing chain has not moved, meaning Oito is telling the truth. Kurapika then switches his questioning method and says, "Now, can you please ensure that the only answer you give to my questions is the word yes?" The queen answers yes. Kurapika starts questioning again, saying, "Right now, are you flying in the sky?" Oito answers yes. In accordance with Kurapika's instruction that she must only answer yes regardless of the question, the dowsing chain moves when Oito answers yes to flying in the sky. This means Oito is somewhat lying because she isn't actually flying in the sky right now. Kurapika adds another question. "Right now, are you inside a ship?" Oito answers yes. This answer does not make the dowsing chain move because it is true that they are inside a ship. Following that, Kurapika asks, "Right now, are you riding inside a tank?" When the queen answers yes, the dowsing chain moves again because the queen is not inside a tank, they are inside a ship. Kurapika's next question is Prince Wobble your only child? Oito answers yes, but the queen pauses for a moment before answering yes. Regardless, the dowsing chain does not move, meaning it is true that Wobble is the queen's only child. Bill looks a bit nervous while watching them because he can feel the tension. Kurapika adds another question. "Is the prince sleeping there?" And before he can even finish the question, the queen answers yes. Kurapika pauses and then continues. "Is the prince sleeping there the same prince I was carrying when you interviewed me inside the hotel 2 months ago?" After Kurapika asks that, the dowsing chain doesn't move yet because the queen is suddenly shocked and stops speaking. The queen's expression startles Kurapika, and he looks at the infant. Bill is still nervous, and there is a moment of silence. Suddenly, the queen speaks, saying, "Wobble is my child." This answer did not move the dowsing chain, but it wasn't the answer the queen was supposed to give to Kurapika's question. Kurapika says that as he instructed earlier, she should only answer his questions with yes. The queen couldn't answer immediately and then said, "Why, how did you know? And Shimanu reveal it to you?" Kurapika explains, without showing his surprise, that it was Bill who told him about this because Bill noticed the queen's varying pronunciation of Prince Wobble's name. Here, Bill explains that what he noticed was the way the queen pronounced the prince's name, because if Wobble were a girl, the name should be pronounced Wobble, feminine, similar to Shimanu because Shimanu is a woman. However, if Wobble were a boy, the name should be pronounced Wobble, masculine, because those are the unique gender name pronunciations of the Kakin language. However, when it comes to the queen, the way she pronounces the prince's name is unusual. The queen uses a gender-neutral pronunciation of the letter B in Wobble, meaning it is neither Wobble feminine nor Wobble masculine in the way the queen pronounces the prince's name. And in the beginning, Bill reportedly just ignored this issue. But over time, the way the queen pronounced the prince's name seemed to alternate, sometimes as Wapuru and sometimes as Wobble. That's why Bill supposedly thought to himself at the time, her pronunciation of the prince's name seems a bit unusual. But of course, he said he just ignored it because, after all, pronunciation differences like wobble and wobble are common. Even native speakers from Kakin sometimes can't differentiate the pronunciation of the U and O vowels in a name, which are used to distinguish whether a name belongs to a male or a female. But when this topic was discussed earlier, when Shimanu told Kurapika that Shimanu wasn't the correct pronunciation of her name, that was when he remembered that Queen Oito began alternating the pronunciation of Wable and Wable whenever she mentioned the prince. right after they boarded the BlackWhale. Specifically, it was during the time Kurapika first started using his dowsing chain. That's why Kurapika told the Queen, "Perhaps you are thinking that in case I question you using the chain, you could answer my question with a truth that hides a lie, without making the chain move, just because of how you pronounce the prince's name?" That is the reason why, when he started using the dowsing chain, the Queen also began pronouncing the prince's name sometimes as Wabu and sometimes as Wobble. So if he questioned her using the dowsing chain, the Queen could simply say, "Wobble is my child," without making the chain move. So Kurapika asked the Queen, "Whose child is this baby, and where is your child now?" This is when Oito explained that this baby is the son of her youngest sister, and she said she had her daughter, the real Prince Wobble, cared for by that sister, and she said she doesn't know where her child and her sister are now, but the child who placed her hand and blood in the seed-earned ritual was indeed her real daughter. And after that, they reportedly swapped their children at the hotel. And the baby she carried who attended the ceremony was already her sister's child by that time. So at this time, during Kurapika's interview, the prince Kurapika was holding was still the real Prince Wobble. But after that, it was still at the hotel where Oito swapped the prince with her sister's child. Because Togashi's drawing of the original Wobble is this, friends. And if you compare it now to the fake Wobble, there really is a difference between the two. She said that not participating in the succession war carries a very heavy punishment, so what she did was make it look like they were still participating by using the fake Wobble. And if the time comes that they discover they are not eligible for the succession contest, she planned to just apologize and beg. This was reportedly a gamble she made to survive. That was the only way she could think of at the time. So this is the reason why no Nen beast has manifested in the baby the Queen is carrying, which Kurapika and the others previously assumed was just because it was still an infant, so it hadn't manifested immediately. But the question is, where is the real prince now? Because once a prince has placed their blood in the seed urn, they are automatically included, and even if a prince tries to leave, like what Kacho and Fugetsu did to avoid the succession war, the prince will die, friends. And that is the reason why Prince Kacho died. But what if the prince didn't actually board the BlackWhale in the first place from the very beginning, friends? Is it possible that the real Prince Wobble is still alive because the Nen activation of the succession war has a specific range that kills a prince if they leave the BlackWhale until the succession is over? Also, if you remember, friends, from the very beginning, Kurapika felt an aura, or a sinister aura, that seemed to be coming from the baby or the child. But it immediately disappeared, and in the next minutes, the guard Woody was seen dead, killed by silent majority. Because of that, many are saying that the aura Kurapika felt in this scene was not from the Nen beasts of the other princes that eventually appeared in their room, and it wasn't from the fake Wobble either, but was instead the first case of silent majority activating, which is why Kurapika felt a sinister aura then.
Also, there is a theory saying that maybe that aura from the prince was from the curse placed on the fake Wobble. This is because some think the fake Wobble is Beyond's son with Oito's sister. However, if that were the case, Kurapika would have seen the seal or mark on the baby's tongue, like the one on Longhi, if the fake Wobble were indeed Beyond's son. Now, let's go back to the Queen's full confession. During her confession, Kurapika actually let Sakata and Bobby Mina in and told them that, as they heard from the Queen, she wasn't telling any lies. Because while Oito was confessing, Kurapika also aimed his dowsing chain. So Kurapika told Bobby Mina and the others that they are outsiders here and not eligible for the succession war, and the shock was visible on their faces. After that, returning to the present at 10 a.m., the participants of the Nen class returned, and this is the final count of those who remained. So Kurapika thought to himself that no one else quit except for Slacker, who wasn't a participant in the first place. Did his strategy fail? He thought that either the guard of the first prince or third prince Zhanglei would quit after he announced that Wobble was not eligible for the succession war, as he assumed that would lower the risk of being targeted by other princes because of that announcement. But it seems like everything won't really be easy. Nevertheless, he said he has no other choice but to continue teaching them Nen as per his original plan. The guards of the first and third princes were both reportedly able to verify that the Wobble with them now is a male, and the information regarding Queen Oito swapping her baby with her sister's baby has already reached Benjamin and Zhanglei.
And if even just Prince Benjamin would be the first to stop targeting them, for him the possible danger they would face would truly be reduced.
And perhaps the reason the guards of the first and third princes remained in their current status or situation, even though they know the Wumble with them is a fake, is because in their minds they think Kurapika might have hidden the real Wumble, who is still here inside the BlackWhale, because that child still has rights in the Succession War.
However, according to Kurapika, even if first Prince Benjamin shares what he knows about the fake Wobble with the other princes would still have second thoughts if first Prince Benjamin doesn't change how he treats Kurapika's party. Still, if they are still useful to the third and fifth princes, their alliance will still continue. Plus, there's the letter that Kacho gave them, which is a letter full of information about the Succession War from Kacho and Melody, which is one of his aces. For now, he said all he needs to do is continue demonstrating the power of Nen to these servants and guards and show them that he still has plenty of useful information they can benefit from. Along with that, Kurapika said that while he does those things, he also needs to find and identify the targets of Beyond's children.
Regarding the male infant currently on the throne as the prince or as a fake Wobble, the fact that the baby could be easily exposed as not being the real Wobble just by looking at his physical characteristics, unless someone examining the baby is an assassin posing as an official or someone carrying poison.
To verify if it is indeed a male or a female, the risk that this fake Wobble's life could be in danger is currently still very low because they can anticipate that scenario. The real problem here is Oito's daughter, or the real Prince Wobble, because in the event that a powerful post-mortem Nen curse from Beyond's child, which is targeting the real Prince Wobble, is activated, that baby would be truly vulnerable and unable to defend herself from the curse that would surely kill her. So the only way he sees to avoid that scenario is to identify which of Beyond's children is targeting the real Prince Wobble and exorcise the curse placed on this child. So Kurapika also plans to find Beyond's children, adding that they have no idea regarding other details about the other children of Beyond that Long He mentioned before.
He doesn't even know who their targets are or what the conditions are for activating their curses. Would it be the same as Long Yi's conditions? That's why he said, wouldn't it be better or easier if he just went straight to the root of all this, which is to go to or confront Beyond and learn everything from him directly?
And in the next scene, while Kurapika is thinking about those possibilities, the scene shifts first outside Tier 1 to the cafeteria, and here in a secured room where a door can be seen opening, catching the attention of the two Zodiac members, Kanzai and Sayu, who are guarding Beyond. And here, Beyond smiled at the arrival of someone, saying, "Hey, I've really been waiting for you." And it can be seen that the person who arrived was wearing
Of someone in a suit, everyone. We don't know yet, or it hasn't been shown, who this really is, but it's highly possible that it's Kurapika, because this scene follows the scene where Kurapika is thinking that it might be better to just go there and visit Beyond himself.
Also, Kurapika is able to access this prison or this area because he is a member of the Zodiacs, everyone, since he replaced Pariston. However, before this scene of the confrontation with one of the people Beyond has been waiting for could continue, Togashi changed the scene, folks. And the one who arrived in the next panel is Cleopatra, the Supreme Magistrate of Kakin.
This means the arrival of the person whose face wasn't shown and the arrival of Cleopatra are two different scenes, everyone. She said, "I want to speak with him in private. Could you all step out for a moment?" Kanzai replied that it wasn't possible. Sayu added that their job is to serve as surveillance and guards.
Even if both of them are VIPs here, they cannot allow a secret conversation between a supreme magistrate and this international political criminal to happen without them knowing. And if you remember, folks, prior to this scene in the previous chapters, Beyond told Kanzai and the others that he wanted a meeting arranged because there was someone he wanted to talk to. And the question is it Cleopatra? Or the person from earlier whose face wasn't shown? Well, we don't know. But Beyond said here, upon Cleopatra's arrival, that he has no problem even if the Zodiacs listen to his conversation with Cleopatra, because he has filed many cases against them, and all he really wants is to know the results of those. So Cleopatra spoke up and said, "Let's start with the cases filed by the V5 against you. All of those have been dismissed because of your admission to the criminal offenses you committed, and you will no longer stand trial for those cases. And because of that, the international criminal offense Beyond committed when he broadcasted the announcement of his voyage to the New World to everyone was also dropped.
Beyond replied that they only did all of that, scrapping or dismissing his cases, so he could focus on the secret agreement he made with Kakin. That was the plan all along, wasn't it? Well, he said he was just more concerned with the results of the cases he filed. Beyond asked how many cases those were. Was it 1,000? Cleopatrona answered, 1,047.
Long story short, all of those were dismissed by the Supreme Court. This made Beyond heated, saying, "Are you serious? All of them? Are you sure you looked at every case I filed?" Cleopatrona replied, "Yes, I read and reviewed all of them, and that is the result. They have all been dismissed." So Beyond said, "It seems you didn't take your job seriously and just rushed through reading all of them."
Cleopatrona answered irritably, "Watch what you're saying. Do you know how many months I spent just to read all of those?" Beyond then said, "So basically, based on your dismissal of the cases I filed, the KakinEmpire is now admitting that they have no intention of securing even the most basic human rights for the common citizens of Kakin."
Cleopatrona said, "Don't you know that respect for human rights is already written in the Constitution of Kakin?" Beyond retorted, "And don't you know that I filed those cases against them because they didn't follow what's in that constitution? First of all, do you have an official legal definition for who is being referred to in your constitution by the word human rights?"
Are the humans in human rights the people who are common citizens, or perhaps only the members of the royal family or the wealthy? Don't expect the people to trust you if the human rights you're talking about aren't clear as to whether they are for everyone, including ordinary citizens, or just for the rich. Cleopatrona then explained that even before he filed a case about that, all of it had already been applied. King Nasubi has already taken steps to revise the constitution. Regardless of the outcome of the succession war, the principle of equality between those of royal blood and the wealthy versus ordinary people in the eyes of the law will be realized.
This is where Cleopatrona presented copies of the complete records from the court regarding the revised constitution, along with the official additions and corrections to the revised constitution. Although she said the changes to the constitution wouldn't immediately give them the power to prosecute members of the royal family for crimes they've committed,
they can still hope that this new constitution will serve as a deterrent to the members of the royal family, making them stop committing further crimes. However, for her, what she is more concerned about regarding this new constitution is the psychological impact it will have on the people.
Because the new constitution considers royal citizens equal to ordinary people, the fear that the people used to feel toward the members of the royal family will no longer be felt by normal people. This is something that would be a disadvantage to the leadership of the members of the Kakin royal family.
And Kanzai said, "Wait a minute, do you mean we have to read all these documents before we give them to Beyond?" Sayu replied, "No one ordered you to read every document there, you idiot. You just need to check if there are any suspicious things hidden in there." Beyond said while reading some of the documents that what Cleopatrona said is true.
But it would have been more effective and faster to implement if that order, that those of royal blood are equal to ordinary citizens in the eyes of the law, especially regarding human rights, came directly from the king's own mouth. He said if these orders came directly from the king, the revision of the institution wouldn't have to go through so many processes and wouldn't happen in such a slow manner.
Beyond then glanced through the pages, saying, "I also know that it's really hard to choose between the advantages of a dictatorship and a democracy." After that, Beyond handed back a document he had finished reading, saying, "I'm done reading this. Give me the next one." Kanzai said, "Whoa, you read that so fast. You're obviously lying and you didn't really read the whole thing." Sayu replied, "I'm only going to give you documents at random, not the one next to the document you just read. I'm not following orders here." Beyond replied, "That's fine. I have no problem with that, whatever it is, as long as it's printed text. This is just a way for me to pass the time before we reach our destination." Cleopatrona got annoyed at what Beyond said and retorted, "Huh? Just a way to pass the time? Are you really in that much of a hurry for your death penalty, old man? Do you know how busy I am that I actually found time to come here in the middle of the delayed trial of the 9 princes?" So Beyond jokingly said, "Did you hear that, Zodiacs? I've known this kid since she was still wetting her pants. This is her true personality.
Was it really Kurapika talking to Beyond in this scene? If it was him, what did Beyond reveal to him? And what changes will be made to the plans of the other princes after the revelation Kurapika gave them? Well, that and many more are what we will witness in the next chapter, because we're going to end the video here at this last panel.
So, if you like the video, give it a like, comment, and also subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you very much, and see you guys again in my next video.